Hello everybody, my name's Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage where we talk all things money to help you on your financial journey. Today's video I'm sharing with you my dividend income for June 2021. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. So this month is a lot less than the month before. May was the biggest month I had in terms of dividends so far this year, and I'll leave a link below to the video on that if you want to check it out after this one. You'll see that the fluctuations in terms of dividend income received are big. That is always going to be the case, I think. But I'll show you what I've got and what bills that would cover, because in the end, that's the point of this dividend income. And then show you just how the overall view of the year looks, bearing in mind that we are now halfway through 2021 already. So in June, I got paid from two different companies. There's not any funds in this one this time. These are purely companies that have paid me this month. So the first one that paid out is Morrison's. Now actually this dividend income here is from 800 shares in Morrison's. I have actually sold half of my holding after this point, because I don't know if you've noticed or if you follow whatever, I follow the companies that I have in my portfolio. I look at their share price, their financials, all that kind of stuff, and actually their share price jumped really significantly during June. And so I had, at the beginning of June, I had 800 shares in Morrison's and I sold half of them. So I sold 400 of them for quite a significant profit. Now I don't really do selling. I am a buy and hold. That's my strategy. But the amount that the profit was for these, i.e. the capital gains on this particular investment, was so big that I felt like actually what I wanted to do is I was going to sell. So I sold half and I've reinvested that into another dividend paying stock going forward. So actually, although this number looks really good going forward, my holding in this is vastly reduced, and obviously that will have a knock-on impact going forward for this one. But I thought I'd explain that. So Morrison's, first of all, they paid me £40.88 in June, and like I said, I've now sold half of these, so it's not going to be the same from now on, but I'm okay with that decision. I don't tend to sell shares very often, and I need to do an updated video on my current holdings, because actually I have changed a couple around and got a couple of new things in there. But anyway, so if you're interested in me doing an updated video on what is currently in my portfolio, will you leave a link below just to see if it's of interest to everybody, then I'll do that. But if it's not, I might not. But the second one, so the second company paid out during June, is Sage Group. I've had these in my portfolio for so long now, and I've not bought any more since that initial investment. But this is what they pay, and this is low in comparison. So they paid out £9.08, and they are the only two that paid out this year. Card Factory is another one of my holdings, and they paid out quite a substantial amount in June 2019. But their dividend has been suspended for now until basically I think they get back on their feet, so to speak, after the pandemic. So maybe in 2022 there'll be a third company in there. If not, I will then look at whether that's a company I want to hold in my portfolio long term. But if we share that all together, that means that in June I got £49.96 in dividend income received. So as you can see, the number there is a lot lower than it was in May. And like I said, that's going to be the case. It always has been. And unless I invest lots more in individual companies like these, it's always going to be kind of swings and roundabouts. And I think if you look at anybody who does dividend investing or dividend income, there's months where you get a lot and there's months where you get kind of very little in comparison. And this just happens to be one of these. But if I look at that from a bill perspective, so the point of dividend income is to cover our fixed expenses. This would cover like both of our mobile phone bills, or it would cover our water rates bill. So it still covers some of our bills. It's just lower than last month. I think last month was so good that now when I'm typing this out, it's like, oh, it's not quite as much. But you know what? It's working. It's ticking along nicely. And I'm now going to show you the graph that represents my income for the whole year in terms of dividends. And then I'm going to show you dividends earned and what invested cash I put into my portfolio. So this is the graph that I've got that represents all of my dividend income so far, and actually you can see that the numbers are okay. Obviously we've got like a dip here where March was and I received 0 dividends, and that's the first time in a long time where I've had a month where I've received nothing. And like I said, that's kind of just how it goes, I suppose. But you know, you can see here that May is really good at the moment. That's kind of almost hitting that £200 milestone there. And this is June, so it's 4 pence under the £50 mark. That's why that is so close to that. But we're building. It's going to be kind of up and down. You can see that I talked about swings and roundabouts. You can see it's up and down. January was good. You know, if I can consistently hit over £100, that's my first aim, is to hit or have consecutive months where I'm hitting over £100 every single month. Then it'll be £250 every single month, and so on. So I do have these little targets in my head as to where it should be and what I'm aiming for at this point. And it's a slow progress. Now, someone sent me a message on Instagram the other day, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll leave a link below. I post fairly regularly on there. They said, but it takes such a long time to get your money back. Now, first of all, I still have my money. It's just in investments. It's not gone anywhere. And second of all, dividend investing isn't about a get-rich-quick scheme. Unless you're really rich to begin with and can invest a lot of money from the off, no, you're quite correct. It isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. However, I talk about the snowball method in terms of investing. When I talk about this on my blog, and actually the momentum does start to build, even from kind of, I've been doing this. Is this my 6th year of investing? I think it is. And even from then, I'm getting months where I'm hitting kind of £200, £300 in a month, and that's a significant amount of money to get essentially doing nothing. And and also someone's like, but you're not doing any growth. Actually, my portfolio is both. So although it's kind of primarily focused on dividends, I am also getting money in terms of the investments that I hold are growing in value at the same time. So in the end, it'll be a bit of both. I'm just going to show you, the last thing I'm going to share with you is just dividends earned and invested cash for the first 6 months in the year so far. So the final thing to share with you is this. So this is all part of the same spreadsheet that I have, but you can see that I'm now tracking kind of dividends and what I'm investing in, because I reinvest all of my dividends, which obviously helps. And you can see there that most of the time, so the invested cash is fairly similar numbers. May was really expensive, so it wasn't. I had a no spend month in June, it's why it's slightly more. But actually, when you add these together, I'm reinvesting or investing. The sums are fairly substantial by this point. You can see quite clearly there that there are differences in months. That there always are going to be. And so December, for example, invested cash might be really little, but dividends should be fairly good in December. But I like to track all these things. And if I scroll down, now these numbers aren't correct because these numbers are divided by 12, and obviously I've not got to the end of the year yet. Oh, and I need to change that to the correct year. But so far I've put 3,500 into my investment ISA, and I've got total wise £592 and 39 pence in dividends so far, which is halfway through the year. It's not bad. It could be better. These aren't correct because these are also, this is divided by 12, this is divided by 52, and this is divided by 365. So obviously they're not correct. They'll only be correct when I get to the last day of 2021. But I'm quite happy with how it looks so far. I am still sticking to the plan. It is growing slowly, but it is anyway. Did you get any dividends for June? Let me know in the comments below if you've got any dividends for June. What were they? How much were they? Let's celebrate together. I love hearing from people who are doing the same thing as me. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon.